What's up, LA gangsters, American gangsters, worldwide gangsters? This is Gangsta Transform Compete TV, and my name is Peasy. Our mission is to persuade people away from gangs, thus preventing unalivings and imprisonment. If you like what we stand for, please subscribe to this channel. It's totally free. Please tell a friend, like our videos, and share a comment. Tell us what you think about the videos, about a particular person or situation that is being covered. We invite everyone to give their opinion, whether it's positive or negative. All opinions are welcome. Today, I'm gonna play a video by a young brother named Tuck, who's an ex-gang member from Southern Cali. Now, Tuck, he rode on his enemies and deleted his enemy and got a life sentence at the age of 21 years old. Now, the reason that I'm going to play this video is because Tuck comes to a profound realization after being locked up for about 15 years in the California penitentiary. And then once I play this video, we will discuss what was said, and I will also lend my thoughts and ideas on the situation as well. So without further ado, I bring you Tuck from Cali Penitentiary.
First and foremost, what's your name and where you from?
My name is Maurice Mr. Tucker, but you know they call me Tuck. I'm from San Diego. You know what I mean? Out on Pearl Park area. You know, I've been down for a little minute. I'll let you do the questioning. My bad.
It's all good. How long you been down?
I've been down 15 on a murder case. They gave me 50 to life. You know, hopefully things change, but you know, we walking it off. However it go. You know.
Absolutely. Now, if you don't mind me asking, like, what did that day consist of?
What is that day?
Yeah, that specific day in question. What did that consist of? Or how did you come to?
It consists of ignorance. You know, blind leads to blind. You know, now 37 now. You know, I got a purpose. You know what I mean? I got love from my real loved ones. You know what I mean? So. Just trying to move different now, you know what I mean, a little smarter. I'm trying to think before I act. You know what I mean? I never thought, like, you know what I mean, about consequences and coming to jail or hurting my mama or not being there for my daughter. You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking now, you know what I mean?
Now, what was the moment that you felt things shifted?
Just being here, meeting my enemies. They're not really my enemies. You know what I mean? And I'm putting all my energy into that. And it got me here, you know what I'm saying? So I got to think a little differently now, you know what I mean? And I ain't got no enemies, you feel me? That's what I learned the most.
So do you feel like you adopted a false belief system on the outside?
We all did, you know. We was led astray, you know what I mean? But it's way before our time, you know what I mean? From being here, learning the history, you know what I mean? This happened a long time ago. We've been lost and blind a long time ago. But we come in here, we read, we congregate, you know what I mean? Now we got to just pick up where we left off and try to lead the, you know what I mean, the young life differently. You know what I mean? We got it though. We on top of it. You see it? You know what I mean? Beautiful. My people. We getting it together.
Absolutely.
We getting it together.
So knowing what you know now, there would have been a different outcome.
Oh yeah. We needed this. We all needed this. We were knuckleheads. You know what I mean? You can't do that to no badass little kids coming up, but sit them down somewhere. You know what I mean? Mama can't even come get us. Mama can't come get you here. So you gotta figure it out. But you know, we tribal. You know, we always gonna be where we from. You know what I mean? We gotta just make where we from a better place. Because I love where I'm from. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love where I'm from.
Clearly a great sense of pride.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Like somebody acted like this ain't like this the spot. You know what I mean? This is where I got stronger, wiser, better at. You know what I mean? It didn't happen out there, happened in here.
Right.
So I can't be mad at this. I got about 10 more. You know what I mean? The youth offender, you know what I mean? I caught murder at under the age of 21, so they, you know what I mean? They give it back.
So one of the things you said is that you've been led astray. You were led to believe that other brothers that look just like you, that were likely related to you in a way or another.
Who taught us how to move like that? We didn't know. We didn't act either. We didn't even act. Well, go get your little, and go ahead, you know what I mean? And you get your little love, and you get your little high off of that. That ain't about nothing. You know what I mean? Once you start experiencing it, you know what I mean? Like, I was telling my boss the other day, I work in the kitchen in the morning, I was telling him, like, I feel like, you know, how a lot of people do things to get money, and I'm over here learning and picking up knowledge and experience. It feel like making money. It feel better than money. It feel like gold. You know what I mean? Learning not to be stupid no more. You know what I mean? It's just a different feeling. I get high on that. Like, oh, come on now. I get high on that. But
if you had a message for the youth, let's say for your 15-year-old self, if you had a message, if you could speak directly to your 15-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Man, stay sharp, stay focused. You know what I mean? Progress. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody else tell you what you should be doing with your life. You know what I mean? Find your passion, find your purpose. You know what I mean? Your loved one's gonna love you. Anything for you, not gonna be against you, not gonna ever be against you. You know? Like that.
Absolutely, brother.
Like that there.
So, I'm gonna ask you one more question about legacy. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when you're dead and gone, what do you want people to say about you? What do you want people to remember about you?
They say what they say, you know. I'll be trying to humble myself and don't say too much. But you know what I mean? They gonna say some good things. I'm gonna make sure they do. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave a bad legacy. I don't want to go, he taught everybody how to go. Nah, I'm trying to uplift mine. You know what I mean? I'm trying to push them to greatness. You know, be great. That's what I'm gonna tell them, and that's what they gonna know. That's what they gonna get from me. Be great.
All right, people. That was Tuck on his prison sentence and the circumstances that got him placed in prison. So first of all, shout out to Tuck for keeping a positive attitude, having a positive message for those that might be listening, and for doing soul-searching perspectives on his past, his present, and his possible future. So I commend Tuck on the positive strides that he has made since being incarcerated. I want to commend him for attempting to get out of his present situation. It would be a lot easier for someone to just sit back and give up. But Tuck isn't doing that. I commend him for that. Now, the thing I really want to point out about this video is something that Tuck realized after being in prison for many, many years. Now, it's a simple realization, but it's a very profound one. And I'm talking about the realization of him understanding that who he thought was his ops are not really his ops. I mean, that's a very deep statement on so many levels. Because you see, if you're on the street and you see someone from a different neighborhood, and you see someone from a so-called opposition neighborhood, a rival neighborhood, an enemy's neighborhood, when you look at that person, it's really up to you to determine if they are your enemy, if they are your op. I mean, just because someone lives in a certain area, they should not be your op. They should not be your enemy. Because what's going to happen is once you place that thought in your own head, then that leads you into acting on those thoughts. See, it's all mental, people. It's all about how you look at things. It's all about how you perceive situations, people, and circumstances. It's all mental. So when you look at a person as an op or an enemy, now you're going to act on it. Now you got emotions coming involved, because now you're drawing back on what that person or what that neighborhood did to someone that you know, someone from your neighborhood, maybe a family member, maybe a friend. So now you're drawing on that energy, that negativity. You're remembering the negativity that happened in the past, and now you are going to create more negativity, and it's going to go back and forth, back and forth. This neighborhood kills one person, this neighborhood unalives the next person, this neighborhood retaliates, and it goes on and on and on. And next thing you know, so many bodies are buried and so many men are sent to the penitentiary to make these corporations even more money as you sit in the cage rotting away. To me, that doesn't sound like a pretty interesting life. That doesn't sound like fun. I mean, I want to be free. I want to be out in the world having fun, enjoying life, enjoying my family, enjoying my children, traveling, seeing the world, enjoying the things that life has to offer. Not sitting in a prison cell because you decided to look at someone that looks like you as an enemy or an op. And you might have never ever seen this person before in your life. Now, a lot of times in gangbanging, you do get to know a lot of your ops because it's usually the neighborhood that's closest to your neighborhood that you're beefing with. That's usually how it works. Occasionally, you know, you may get into beef with a neighborhood that's far away because you guys might go to a club or a concert. You guys get into it. You guys might bump heads out somewhere in the street, wherever, the beach, amusement park, wherever you are. Things can always happen. I understand that. But usually, it's a neighborhood that's close or surrounding your neighborhood that you are beefing with. Now, if you don't know the person, number one, how could you possibly say that they're an op just because they live in that neighborhood? They may even claim that neighborhood, but just because they claim a neighborhood doesn't mean that they are actively banging. Okay, there's a difference. Okay? Now, what if you do know this person? Okay, well, if you know a person and you know their history and there might have been conflict in the past, and then you can say, okay, well, in that situation, PZ, then I would say he's an op because I know what he's done in the past. Well, you could take that approach and go crash out and suffer the consequences, which are usually one or two things, as we know. Or you could say, why don't I try to have a conversation with this cat? Why don't I try to bridge the war gap and have a little peace, have an understanding, have some respect for one another. A lot of times you'll find that when you get to talking to other people that you thought were your ops, you'll find that you have a lot of things in common. You'll find that they're just like you. But see, the only problem is most of us only find that out once we're in the penitentiary and we got the time. Because now you're forced to program and politic with people that you called your op on the street, which is what Tuck has come to understand. And a lot of young brothers have come to understand once they hit that penitentiary. Now I'm speaking about California politics. I don't know about all these other state politics and so forth and so on in their prison systems. I don't know how it goes with them. But in California, it's very structured and it's very political, and there are a lot of rules. And one of the rules is that if you are black, you are rolling with other blacks, period. Because you have to protect one another. I don't care if they're Damu, I don't care if they're Kiwi, I don't care if they're non-affiliate. Once it goes up, it's going up. And the people in the penitentiary that are not your color, they're not going to ask the question, do you bang or do you not bang when it goes up? They're not going to ask the question, what neighborhood are you from when it goes up? They're not going to ask the question, do you have beef with us when it goes up? They're going to see your skin color and they're going to attempt to get cracking. And you have to roll with your people for safety, for protection, for enforcement. So why is it that we can't seem to do this before we get these long sentences? Why can't we do this when we're on the street and free and make peace with people around us so that we can all have a peaceful life, a peaceful existence, and not wind up in the penitentiary or in the grave? So once again, I thank Tuck for his message. I applaud him for staying positive. I respect him for self-reflecting. And I champion him for having strong words of encouragement to those young people on the street. This is Gangsta Transform Compete TV, and my name is Peasy. If you like our mission, please subscribe to our channel. It's totally free. Please like our videos. Please share our videos. And like I said, leave a comment on what you think about the individual or the circumstance that is covered. Or leave a comment on what you think, how you feel about what I said about a particular subject or situation. God bless.